Hey everybody, Jim and Scott here at San Diego Comic-Con. We just got out of the Star Wars panel, and while no new footage was shown, we did get to see the entire cast on stage.
Yeah.
Scott,
Yeah.
were you as excited as I was,
I was.
to see the original trio?
The original trio.
Yeah.
So you had Harrison Ford,
Yep.
Carrie Fisher, and Mark Hamill all together. Of course, they saved Harrison for last. They kept us waiting, but they were all there together, and it was something to see the three of them together. At one point, they were sort of embraced, all three of them.
Yeah. They had like he gave Harrison Ford gave Mark Hamill a kiss on the cheek, a big hug,
Yeah.
and then but it was really, I mean, Harrison Ford has been kind of infamously grumpy about Star Wars for a very long time.
Yeah.
He was legitimately excited about the movie. I mean,
he really seemed to be very positive. It was uncharacteristic Harrison Ford behavior. He's kind of a grouch, right?
Yeah. He's kind of known to be kind of a grouch.
And he was really positive about the script, and he said he never thought that these movies would happen, where the old cast came back, and he's surprised that it's happening.
He was surprised. He was he spoke a lot about Lawrence Kasdan's script. Kasdan was there as well, and how, because one person asked, like, did your character end up where you thought they would, when you left them 30 years ago? And he was just like, I never thought about that.
Yeah,
like,
I never thought I'd make this movie, so I never thought. So he was still the straight talking sort of Harrison Ford, but with a positive spin.
Yeah, this is the most excited I've ever seen him about Star. And for Harrison Ford being excited, I'm not saying he was jumping for joy, but there was an actual optimistic, angle to his to how he was talking.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Carrie Fisher was
cracking jokes,
as salty as always, and then Mark Hamill was, again, the longtime cheerleader for the franchise, and they showed a great photo of him at a fan convention.
It was a Comic-Con.
Yeah.
It was Comic-Con from
1976.
Yeah.
Because they had concept art for Star Wars, a completely different, font and everything than was used. And so it was just great to see it kind of all come full circle. Now, so as cool as it was to see Harrison Ford so upbeat about Star Wars again, and saying how wonderful his script was and all that, and really, paying, respect to his fellow castmates, we also got, on a news front, some cool revelations about the dark side. Why don't you want to tell us?
Well, so they sort of brought people out in stages. They brought J.J. Abrams, Kathleen Kennedy, and Lawrence Kasdan out, and then they brought the young heroes of the movie out.
They brought Baba Joe out, that camel-looking...
That camel puppet thing, practical effects.
Awesome.
He walked all around the stage.
Yeah, Celebration, we had BB-8 and R2. Yeah. We got Baba Joe.
And they made a big deal about, again, as they always do, about how important practical effects are in this movie and real sets. Although Kasdan gave a shout out to George Lucas.
He
had the whole cheering. But then they brought out the trio of the dark side, who I don't think we've really seen before.
They weren't at Celebration.
Yeah.
At Celebration, they only brought out John Boyega, Daisy Ridley, and Oscar Isaac, who were also here today.
Yeah.
So maybe it's because this is the first kind of public appearance of the bad guys, that maybe that's why it's kind of sticking with us more. But
maybe.
Tell
it was Gwendolyn Christie who plays Captain Phasma, the female stormtrooper.
Brienne of Tarth.
And it was Adam Driver who plays Kylo Ren, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. And then I know I won't pronounce
Donald Gleason.
Donald Gleason.
And General Hux.
I'm sorry, General Hux.
H-U-X.
Not to be confused with Nux from Fury Road.
Yep, totally different guy. And it was great. He came right out and said, "Yeah, my character is British and he's evil."
Yes.
And he also let out a spoiler.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's out there now. The name of the bad guy's base is Starkiller Base, which is a nod to...
Yeah, it's based on Luke Skywalker's original name was Luke Starkiller.
Yeah.
So, and he was kind of like, oh, can I say that? And Abrams was like, well, you just said it. So.
Yeah, there's a room full of 10,000 people, so it's out there.
Yeah.
And then, Adam Driver was the one that really couldn't say much at all about Kylo Ren. You could see he was very nervous of letting anything get spoiled, but he gave probably the most memorable line, which is he said when they were talking about his character, they never approached it as bad or evil so much as it was, what's the difference between being bad and being right? So this, I think, really gives you an idea that these are guys you know, I guess no dictator in their mind thinks they're a bad guy. They think they're the hero of their own story.
Right. Yeah. So which makes it a little less black and white than the old films. So and then of course the whole panel ended with them announcing they were taking everyone to a Star Wars concert.
Thousands of people. San Diego approved this. That right over there. Thousands of people are now gathered for a Star Wars concert. What wasn't clear to me was whether or not the music that was going to be played was going to be from Force Awakens score or the classic John Williams
They didn't
score.
say, and we don't know, and we couldn't go to the concert.
Yeah, because we're here.
So we'll find out. But but that was they said, all right, everyone get up, and it almost seemed like it was a joke at first.
Yeah, no.
And it was like, no, we're all walking to a concert now.
And then Chris Hardwick, who was moderating it, got a good zinger in about like, sorry, Kevin Smith, because his panel's next. Literally everybody in Hall H, thousands of people left. So he's probably playing to an empty room. And the one other little revelation, and you guys have probably seen it by now because it's on Star Wars official YouTube channel. I'm sure it's on their site and everything too, and it's, I'm sure, embedded here on IGN. Simon Pegg does indeed have a cameo in Star Wars.
Yep.
So
I denied it and
denied it, but there he was in the video, and he looks like he's playing a creature. He's in the suit and he's got the like a towel over his head to like in between takes to cool off. Because they were filming out in the desert. It was 125-degree heat, they said. And then there was one thing, and we seem to have. We're not
hard
sure.
To read.
It's hard to read, but J.J. Abrams was asked by a fan who was kind of fishing for a spoiler about, is that Darth Vader's lightsaber that in the movie that
Anakin's lightsaber, which was handed down to Luke, which we see in the trailer.
There have been some rumors about that online, but he said no, it wasn't. But you kind of feel like
I thought he was sort of being facetious. Like he kind of said, well, we don't want to give away story points, but if I have to answer, no. But I felt like he was kind of playing coy, so it was hard to read.
Yeah, because also, I mean, remember, this is the guy who told us for the longest time Khan is not in Star Trek Into Darkness. So, but, I mean, those are the big takeaways from the panel today. No new footage was shown.
Yeah, just the behind the scenes
They didn't even show the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the sizzle reel that's out there now. So if you went there hoping to see stuff, despite reports saying we're not bringing anything, they actually meant it. But you did get a free concert out of it.
Yes, that's true, yeah.
But overall, it was just awesome to see the original cast.
It really was.
Back together, you know. It was great. And it was nice to see Harrison Ford talk about Star Wars and not, you know.
He even quoted Star Wars at one point.
He said something about the nav computer.
Yeah.
He did actually, he gave out a Han Solo quote.
Yeah, about the nav computer,
That was awesome.
I was like, oh, can't believe he remembers that line.
I know, right? But, all right, so hopefully you guys were able to maybe see some of the panel footage online, and you could, you know, maybe were as excited by it as we were. So keep it here on IGN for all things Star Wars. Thanks for watching.